as we begin our series of Snatching Defeat from the Jaws of Victory. The first one is going to be concerning Edward Snowden. Is Edward Snowden a hero? This homie don't think so. Edward Snowden. So sad. The information he had with the NSA had to be released. It had to be released. What the government's been doing, sneaking in, looking at people's information, Americans' information, they've just been going too far, and we're going to have to deal with that in some later videos. But right now, we look at this man who had this information. And what did he do? He didn't do what some of the Vietnam heroes did, like the Berrigan brothers who went in and poured blood on the draft records and got arrested, who were willing to be arrested because they wanted to make a point. He didn't do what Deep Throat did, going into the Washington Post, putting himself at risk of being caught, yet every day, or however often it was, going in and seeing the Post, leaving information for the Post in the parking lot with Woodward and letting him know what's going on, Bernstein, how it's happening, so this information could be put out there. These were real American heroes, willing to take the chance of getting in trouble for turning over information that they knew that the American people had to know. What did Edward Snowden do? Edward Snowden went to China. Then from China, Edward Snowden went to Russia. The Berrigan brothers didn't go to see Mao Zedong, or I believe who was it then, Leonid Brezhnev. Deep Throat didn't go to see Mao Zedong, or I think it was Leonid Brezhnev. They stayed here. They took a chance. They said, this is where it's got to be done. Because when you're an American hero, you stand up and you do what you got to do. Edward Snowden could have been surrounded by armies of lawyers. He would have had congressmen and senators doing whatever it took to back him up, representatives and senators, backing him up. He could have gone to the newspapers and put that information out and tried to be set up. They would have set him up with lawyers if he didn't have it. He would have been a hero. People would have cheered for him. Yeah, he would have had some problems. Yeah, he would have had to deal with court. Yeah, he would have had to deal with the justice system. But it would have worked out because the people in this country would have recognized a hero, somebody who believed in what he did. He stood up, he stayed here, he took on the system, and he said, this is wrong, this is what I'm going to do. But no, he says that he didn't turn over information to the Chinese. He said he didn't turn over information to the Russians. You're telling me the bare-chested one didn't get information out of him? Let's go. Mr. Attorney General, Mr. President, leave him there. Let him stay where he wants to be. Is he a traitor? He easily could be seen as one. Did the British like any of the traitors, the Tories who came over to Britain afterwards? Were they friendly to them? How about Benedict Arnold? When Benedict Arnold went to Britain, did they look at him as a hero? The Russians expelled Lee Harvey Oswald. They couldn't even put up with him. Yet this man runs and stays in a dictatorship where in China, you can't even trust the milk, you can't trust the food, you can't drink, you can't smell the air without getting lung cancer. In Russia, they own the media, they own the industry, they own the gas, they own the oil, they own the army. Let him stay there and see what happens as he gets older and people just look at him as the old traitor. Possibly that's how the Russians are going to look at him. Who needs him anymore? He'll have no more information to give him. He won't be a media star. Let's see what happens then. Let him stay there, Mr. President. Let him stay there. That's where he deserves to be.